to do what it needs to do here on YouTube. It generally takes a few minutes for it to get circulated here as of late. Also, I want to see if this actually put it in the right view, because recently we've had a lot of issues since YouTube is trying to do its whole vertical thing. A lot of times the stream will start in vertical even though I have it set in horizontal, and it becomes an interesting thing. So I've chosen lately to wait like a minute or two as it allows me to see my screen and see if it's set up properly and whatnot, so on and so forth. Give everybody a chance who's going to want to come in here to kind of get situated and see if we're going to have an active discussion or not. But it usually just takes a minute or two for it to start to push around. But we have a lot of stuff to talk about here this evening, so it's going to be very interesting. What kind of response we have. The market had been very bearish of late. We were expecting the unexpected. Yesterday, I thought we did a great job in here, and it'll be interesting to see how many people end up back. Oh, I didn't turn on the comments. My bad. I'm like, wow, no comments yet. It must not be pushing around at all. And of course, there's 60 people here, and I have not been, I didn't have the comments on. It was a great day to buy. Yes, it was. Thank you. It's all an illusion for the $2 donation, and also being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Crazy Paul, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Bigfoot, Tabloo, welcome in. Let's see here. UK Phil, welcome in, my friend, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Played some Fortnite with him a little while ago. It's been a while. I'd love to do it again, too. Crypto Cooter, Joseph Kupiak, and Joseph Euler, thank you, all three of you, along with Jennifer Kupiak. Both Kupiaks in the house. Thank you for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Joseph says, Tom, you genius. Well, you know, yesterday, I love the fact that we were talking about how it was a good time to start buying now after that last dip. And yeah, it could go down to $1.50 for XRP, but we talked about it. Bitcoin coming down to 74K was the prophecy back in December. And leading into January, that's where we thought it had to come down to. Now, there was a chance that it could come down to 64 and refill in there, but it's already done it once, so it's not 100% necessary. Like, that doesn't have to happen. What I thought needed to happen was that 74K. Like, there was no question. Now, we can get excited, but we haven't done anything just yet. We need to get over this resistance, so let's, you know, make sure that we don't get too overexcited. But this is definitely a nice bounce point, nice reversal at that exact area. I know some of you were in here yesterday, and we talked about a lot of things, and there was a few that I picked up within the last 24 hours, just based on our live yesterday, and just areas that it had come down to, and ZIL was one of them. I mean, when it flipped to zero, it kind of forced my hand. And then ZBCN, which really hasn't done much, it finally came down and is starting this rotation that I've been waiting for since we sold it after that 150% move. This is the first time I had bought back in. And it's when this W to me started forming a rounding. And I wasn't at 0080 or whatever. It was like 0084, I believe it was. I told Julie earlier. But it was right before bed. But no, it wasn't. It was in the middle of the evening. Might have been a little higher than it was not in the evening, but it was closer in the early. I woke up early AM, unexpectedly. And I seen the whole market was starting to bounce. Whatever, I'll look through this. Oh man, I love looking at this by the hour. I just remember it was just started to crash. Then it made that rounding. Somewhere right here. This is it right here. Because that's when I bought ZIL too. We started, it was like 2:30 in the morning. Oh yeah, that makes more sense. Somewhere back in here. Because it flipped. Like 6. Yeah, that's exactly what happened right there. And it was coming down, so I didn't even get the bottom, but I remember I was like, oh my God. Like, if this does bounce and it forms that reversal now, it did go down on me, but I was sleeping. And then when I woke up, I was down on it. But I bought 2 million back, and that's exactly what I had the first time around at 0.078, and we wrote it to 0.002, and then I bought it back at 0.00846 or 848. I don't remember. So feel good about that. I feel good about how algo is moving. I feel good, obviously, about XRP. I even did a short, and I said XRP got back over $1.82, and if we can hold this, now we can push back up to $1.98, and if we can overtake that, then we can start making a run at $2.29. And until it breaks $2.29, I'm not going to get overly excited, but I am overly excited. I won't lie, because I also own mining stocks and gold and silver, and like Barrett Gold was up 7.3%, reversing most of the losses. B2 Gold was up 9%. That was a huge turnaround. Silver was up like 3.7%. It flipped now. First Gold was up like $100. First Majestic was up 13.17%, reversing a lot of the losses. Fortuna Silver Mines was up 10.79%. So a lot. It was a big reversal portfolio wise. In a lot of ways, like Algo being up 18% is huge. DGB's up like, what is it, 6.3%. And it's starting to try to use that 1 cent area as a new line now. That's what you're seeing right now. This would be a huge step for DGB as it hasn't been able to do it in a minute. ZIL had a great turnaround up 12.3%. H-bar, beautiful push up at 17.3%. V-Chain's doing pretty good too at 13.6%. XDC's up 8.2%. XRP's doing great up 15.5%. Bitcoin up 9.2%, but Ethereum, once it started showing promise, up 13.6%. That really showed us some stuff. The bull run was never canceled. Like, we were just, like, right now we're still technically, like, here's the deal. I'm sure a lot more of you believe what I say now, especially if you're new, compared to just, I was getting criticized because a lot of people were starting to say, oh, Tom, you talked about this unexpected reversal. Where the hell is it at, you moron? That's kind of a lot of the narrative that I was getting in comments for the, well, some of you seen, some of you actually defended me. But there was the chance we could always go down to that $1.50. Our hope was maybe that $1.65 could hold us. And when we came through there, I was like, uh-oh. And then $1.62 rotated back, and that $1.65 ended up being the finite point there. And then when we bounced out, then it started being a chess match. Now we got to get back over $1.82. Once we got back over $1.82, we're golden. The only problem is now when we get up to these levels, now we got to pass the 200-day and all this other crap. So, you know, it's held an area to where now we've at least given ourselves a chance. But we need to make sure that we break out of here now, because this is the most important part of this move now. Like, we've literally got to make this next part of the move. If it's a fake out here, it would be devastating. We're over that 198. That was the second part of the resistance. Now we're going to have to come over the top and try to break that big area at 229. And then ultimately, if we want to get out of here, we've got to break like that, what is it, $2.65. But the nice thing about this is, and it didn't drag out as far, but at least when we talked about this a while ago, and it might not have built that big W, but it built it, you know what it did? It didn't build it out farther. I think it built it out skinnier, but still the same idea of what we had about this pattern being more elongated here. Where the fuck is this? But if you look at it at the weekly, instead of us doing it like this and coming through, it actually was right here and came around. Like, this could be that formation that we were talking about. It just did it quicker. A lot quicker. So let me delete this just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So if that's the case, I mean, I still have always believed that a wave 5 had to happen here at some point. And if not, well, I mean, you know, it wouldn't be the first time that it didn't complete the 5-wave cycle. But it would definitely have been a little surprising at this point of the game. But, you know, nothing really does surprise me anymore in crypto. Because you got a lot of artificial pumps, and then you don't really know. Then you get a lot of artificial dumps. So it's kind of just, you have to be consistent. That's why I'm here every day. Because if you're not here for one day, if it wears you out, if you need to take a break. Normally when everybody needs to take a break is when it's the time. You know what made me buy in on a couple of things, and I'll be honest. And I know some of you know when I did the... I'm not going to go back into the history. If you were here, you were here. But what was making me start to buy some other things that I had watched drop back down so far, and Zill's one of them, was Everybody who was so willing to buy when we were at the top of this bull run, nobody was really, they were buying it the whole way down. Then all of a sudden, when we made this last 15 and 20% drop, everybody who was willing to buy it down, that money turned scared and they weren't willing to buy it when it got to a certain level. And that's usually when you got a sign of a bottom. And I know in the Telegram, I had put something out today that said, I don't know, we can go back. Just so I don't want to paraphrase, especially when I'm the one who said it. I should at least be able to read my own shit. I shouldn't have to guess. But, or, not be able to say it the way it was said. Oh, I pinned it, as a matter of fact. So I said, for anybody who watched the live last night, and this was at 10 a.m., before this market started moving up. In fact, a lot of it was kind of in the wrong direction. So for anybody who watched the live last night, remember what we talked about. With the recent drop that occurred and the fact I think we are in a bear market, it is a proper time to try and build into particular asset. I only say this because, like in 2023, they are making a play to guarantee lower rates and quantitative easing. That is bullish into the future in crypto. With that said, I was weak overnight and bought back ZIL. In no way do I condone my buy, but it was 2:45 a.m. and I went with it. Later, I said I apologize. I also bought ZBUC. I forgot to say it here. But I think we are either bottomed or within 20% of the bottom. And I say that with 82% conviction, but who really knows? So, like, I gave my blessing. Even last night, I said, hey, you know, even if we come down to that last level, Bitcoin did fill that 74K prophecy. And yeah, 64K could happen, but that would mean that we'd be at that last percentage drop. And that would be the appropriate time. Even XRP being at $1.60, whatever, bouncing there, that would be close enough to $1.50, where technically with the layer in strategy, that would be within range. So it's one of those things. Sailor didn't buy. No, but Sailor bought before it made the drop. He bought at 86K before it dropped down. So he's actually on the hook a little bit. So he technically needed it to come up. His average buy-in right now is at about 64K. So, and I think the background that I put on today is appropriate. I don't know how good it comes in for all of you. But, you know, there's waterfall in our background. There's nice sunset. I think it's appropriate. But that's why I always say, like, you have to watch the market every day because there's opportunity even when it doesn't seem like it. Even when I wouldn't think it. And then it just grabs you. You know, and you can't be afraid. Like, I'm not afraid to trade the market. But yeah, that's going to be the contrarian talk. That's all I've seen, Flo, is everybody's just waiting for the other shoe to drop and this to come down. If this is playing out the way it's supposed to, and the only reason, too, that I bought back is because I talked about how when it went up the first time, I said if this is how it's supposed to be for them to take some dramatic action, the stock market's going to have to give back all those gains from Monday, which it ended up doing, into Tuesday, and then we ended up bearish ending Tuesday, and it reversed like 1,000-point gain into a 300 or 400-point loss by the end of the day, and that was the signal, like, uh-oh. And now all of a sudden today, they had the action from the president. It did the same thing in crypto. All the gains it had gained, it completely reversed over the weekend. And then even when it teetered out Monday, it was completely giving it all back on Tuesday. Just like the stock market by the end of the day. And then overnight, it was looking a little bleak for a minute. And then gold was our signal that something had happened. And you bought back because... Well, I didn't sell everything, James. No, actually, it was getting harder to wait as long as I wanted to because the Telegram was so bullish on the whole way down. But I had my spots where I knew I had to wait, and that's why I kept pointing at 74K. All bets were off depending on where things were at, but gold was the other signal that was giving me overnight. It had bounced up $68 before I even went to bed. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And gold often predicts some kind of news that hasn't been told. If it's dropping real hard, you know something bad's probably on the horizon. When it rises out of control, and it was up like $120 today. Yeah. Can I make it bigger? I don't know. I don't think so. For some reason on here, it doesn't let me really... No, I have it as big as I can. See, I can make it this small. Hey, everybody. Hi. How would this be? Would this be pretty funny? This is how small I feel as an influencer. In the world of influencers, this is how much influence I really have in the XRP community. Isn't this kind of funny, though? Hey, you sons of bitches! How you think you're so funny? Just because I'm like Mickey Mouse. I honestly think it's smaller. I like it. Good evening. 6:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, April 3rd, 2020. Oh, no. Let me restart because it's not April 3rd. I'm sorry. It's so small I can't see. Now we got off track. Oh, this is too funny. It's the minigun. I get it. Frankie, I got it right away. That is hilarious. Oh, man. I kind of like this. I don't know. I might have too much fun with this. Let's see how it looks through all of the stages. Uh-oh, here I am again. See? I give you guys a pretty big view. I must say, though, this is kind of growing. I like Mini-Me. I do. But anyhow, good evening. 6:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on X-Lemon Future Digibyte OG. And I reside in the great state of Michigan. I mean, Michigan. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in here. I'll allow you guys to be able to see me. There. Much better. Now I can see all of my wrinkles and all, right? The other way, I kind of like it. You know, how about this? The smaller the price gets, the smaller my screen should get. When the screen's small, XRP's in the shitter. The smaller it is, the more you should buy. We could do something like that. I think it'd be interesting. Imagine after 2 years, I finally got to make the screen bigger. But yeah, anyhow, we can all smile, we can all take a breath, but when we can really go, oh, man, that was rough. As when we get back to $2.29. Right now, you know, everybody's waiting on the fringe, but take a look at that right now. And the weekly, just like we were seeing on a few yesterday, the weekly looked great yesterday. Look at this bull flag that was created now. We got a nice bull flag here at the last part of this. Coming after, like, you know, the 8th from today. That's a nice little flag that was created. I know a lot of people are expecting this to just come back down. That's the point. They want you to expect it. Oh, they want you to expect it. I'm telling you, they want you to expect it. I promise. This is different this time. I can honestly say it's different. Can I ask you guys a question? After that last drop, wasn't my attitude different? Once Bitcoin at 74K, didn't sluggish, or not sluggish, but the dick Tom, the bearish Tom, the bearish bitch, like everybody likes to call me, didn't that guy leave the building the last 48 hours or 36 hours after that happened? Did you guys not see me laughing in my update today? Like, for anybody who's new, when you watch me do my shorts, and it's been like, I haven't been able to do this very often. Somebody's like, Tom, it's been so long since you actually laughed in your shorts. When you see, and I don't mean laughing while in my shorts, I mean in my short video. And you would know that if you watched my shorts. Again, not my actual shorts. But when I laugh, look at these faces. Look at these faces. Do those look like happy faces over the last 2 months? Where's the last time you see me laughing? Look at these. So then all of a sudden today, when you see it, XRP Future Millionaire, it's Wednesday, April. Whenever you see that face, you know something good's about to happen. And if it doesn't, I thought something good was at least going to happen. That's all you need to see. But some people picked up on it. Somebody messaged me and they're like, "Are we gonna pump today?" And I'm like, "What makes you think that?" They're like, "You laughed in your short. The last time you did that was in December." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So I haven't laughed since." And then I went back in my shorts. I'm like, "I really haven't laughed in my shorts in a while." It's a pretty interesting thing. Who the hell is calling from here? Hold on, I'm interested. Hello? With who? I'm sorry, I speak no English. I'm gonna need you to goodbye. Um, anyhow. Um, I don't know, something. I don't got time for somebody bull crap. Somebody said I knew you were giggling. Tanya, thank you so much. See, Tanya would know. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XP 589 moon beds. Thank you, love. I know a lot of you noticed. Joseph noticed. A few others did too. They could just tell. But DGB is starting to, it's tearing up. So, and I mean that by like layering up. So, John paying for DGB, TA, Tom. I got to go back and look at the donation because it went by so quick. I don't even know who did it. See, now I feel bad. James did. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna do DGB. Nobody has to pay me to do DGB technical analysis. Now, if you want to join Tom's Army and pay it forward on days like today, you know, when so many people were leaving the army, and I can barely keep the electricity on these days because no, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that. I'm in too good of a mood to do that. But think about it. With these 15% gains, you know, and all this time served. Remember, I've been doing this for 4 years on March 24th of this year, and I haven't taken a day off. Is it really so much to ask for $9.99 a month to pay poor old Tom? Wouldn't you rather see me like this? If too many of you leave Tom's Army, this is how much of a lights I'm going to be able to afford in my house. We can't see very much, so we're going to have to keep the lights on. Otherwise, Tom's going to shrivel up, and he's going to be so small that he's going to disappear. No, this is not a sales pitch. Oh my God, I love the call to JP Morgan. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm being bad today. I'm bad. All right, let me bring it back. We're doing just fine. No, it's not true. We were recording from a hotel for 3 weeks out of the past 5. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Oh, man. Sometimes they say when you do what you love, sometimes it's just all free flows. And today it's definitely free flow. It's all little Tom's fault. I was fine until it turned little like that. I didn't know I would look like that. But, oh yeah, let me do this. You know what the sad thing is? I have not smoked my cannabis yet. So just imagine how it would be if I would have. One of these days I'm going to get a double subscription. Hey, Define Group. You don't even have to get a double one. You can just go up to the next tier and become an OG member. I don't know what it is. $24.99. There's a few people that have actually done that. I'm not joking. And then if you really have faith and you're like, man, I've made a lot of money and this guy's doing good. I'm only feeling good for one reason, and I'll say it after. There's the $99.99 tier, but that one's kind of stupid. But some have done it. One person, I still have their XRP token, and for some reason, I just can't pull the stupid email up. And I know you're probably watching, and I've vaguely mentioned it a few times. This is another vague mention. If it's you, just send me that email. Any kind, just send an email with a smiley face so that it'll pull up your emails again. Ever since I got this new phone, it took away all of my old. You guys know the story when you get a new phone. It's anyhow. I have your signed token. I feel bad. I even put a little message. Let's see. I do feel good today because when the market was going down, we were talking how bearish it wasn't how bearish, and then the last 2 days we kind of took a step back and said, you know what? We looked where we were at. We looked where we should be. We looked where we had to bounce at least our first point at 74 on Bitcoin. We looked at XRP on the charts and we looked at it realistically and said, you know, this is probably either the bottom or we're within a very close range of it. And once we came to that understanding of like where we were actually at, I think it made it pretty easy. Once we realized we actually bounced off of this, which was actually a strong support, shot it up. Support, shot it up. Now we hit that support again. Now it should shoot it up. Once we made that realization that that was a third hit, it was a ball game changer. Because we looked at it longer out at the $1.50. But once we realized that this had occurred, it changed everything. And even though it didn't fill the $1.50, it still filled this part. So even if we're bearish, technically if we can get over this line, which is at $1.98, which we're above, that opens up the door to a shot all the way up to 270. You just have to get past that 229, and then we're going to be like, oh, baby, it's so nice. And then I also said, and I've been re-emphasizing it the last few days, something that I seen Brad Garlinghouse said that some of you others have seen as well. He basically said, and I'm paraphrasing here to an extent, that XRP is not for retail, and soon it's not going to matter whether you want to buy it or not. And basically the way I took it, what he was saying, is that XRP used to be, if you wanted to buy it in my terms, 10,000 tokens for the average person. And it was $3,500. We could swing that when we bought it. And then 3,824 again, you could have got it for a brief time. We can swing that. Hell, even like I said, 50 cents, you could swing it probably at $5,000. But 10,000 tokens, and now today at 20,000, even when it made the dip, it's still 16,000 plus. That's not affordable. And like for me, some people are like, well, why do you got to buy 10,000, you greedy fuck? Well, you know, for me, for it to be worth it and what I want to do, I've got to put a percentage of money into it. And I can't do it, like for me, I can't do it at these prices. I had to do it at 35 cents because I wanted a certain amount of tokens. How about that? You know, so I wanted something. So when I want something, I'm not just going to be like, oh, I bought 500 tokens at $2.70 instead of just understanding the charts and teaching myself something of value, because God knows there's only so many things I can do after I got injured. So, you know, it takes, I don't know, there's something about, like Jennifer said it in the Telegram too, because she was so busy, or thankfully, and somebody else echoed it too, that they were so busy that they didn't really have time to, who the hell was it, Defined, or somebody else said it, that they're so busy that they didn't really have time to pay attention to the market dropping. And now, even though when they look back on their portfolio, it was down so much, now it's basically recovered most of those losses, if not all of them. And like, that's the same thing that I can echo. Like, I was watching the market and I was paying attention, obviously, but because I'm so busy, like it was dropping and it was doing its thing, but like, it's basically unfazed. I had a plan. I stuck to it. The market did what I needed it to do what I wanted. And now we have to roll here for a minute. Joseph said he has the flu and couldn't watch the market drop. Now, I never want to condone the flu, but in this one very instance, since you seem to be doing just fine, at least, you know, since you're watching, I'm not saying you're 100% healthy, but at least you're still coherent enough to where you're not like on your deathbed. It was able to spare you. Some people cut their own day, you know, some people stab themselves a little bit here. I don't know. I got so much resistance. I was a little surprised when I started talking about buying yesterday and then saying it I was getting some resistance. And I don't mean from the charts resistance. I mean from the community. And whenever I start saying to buy, people I think should take it seriously, because look how long I resisted on telling everybody to buy on this drop down. You know, like I resisted and resisted and resisted, except for small moments. But that was really a big moment there when it tapped that. It wasn't just XRP though. XRP tapped there, and simultaneously Bitcoin also tapped its spot. And that's really when I was like, holy fuck, what do we got going on here? And then, like, do you guys ever see the Conor McGregor meme where they like stitch him out and he's walking down the beach? It's just like a cutout of him and he's like, where the fuck is everybody at? You know, and it's like in his Irish, you know, I don't know. I can't talk like that. Where the fuck me at? Everybody at? But that's not how he talks. But that's the only way I can talk like that in the Irish sense. And it doesn't even sound good. It sounds like the start of any serial killer, like a killer leprechaun. Oh, you stealing me gold. And then he comes out with, like, you know, the XRP future millionaire has to resort to stealing people's pots of gold. You know, crypto got so bad. I became a ghoul. I mean, that's a pretty promising reversal, if you ask me. That's a pretty promising reversal. I'm pretty happy about that, actually. Pretty happy about that. Now we need to break over this, though. Oh, that's why I keep saying I'm not going to get too excited until we break certain barriers. For Bitcoin, nice reversal here. For sure, this is a tailor-made long leg doji. It's done everything you want it to do, this 24-hour candle. But we need to get over this 85,000. I've often said that 92K, once you get over that is when you can start to breathe. There's a reason I say that, because then you would be free and clear of this. And then by getting over here, you would start to phase this pattern out. But really, we just need to break this pattern. Then we can start to invalidate that death cross. But this could be a massive W. Oh, it could be fantastic if this pulls up. Because if this pulls up... Oh, this is a crazy bullish candle. A lot of people are expecting it to have already come down on this candle. And I said earlier, it's different. Like, if this is what happened here, and then it pulled up, imagine how big this could actually be. Even if it goes... Now you can go boom, boom, boom. I mean, there's so much potential here that it makes my head want to jump off my own body and say, oh my God, Tom. Finally, after fucking 16 weeks, we finally got something. Seriously. Like, everybody's expecting a bloody weekend, but like I said last weekend, there's only so many of those left. Last week was 16. I suspect 17 would have to work for it. Would have to work for it. And if I'm going to be honest, I'll show you in the weekly exactly how we'll know if we're going to have to work for it or not. If this weekly candle closes over 87,000 on Bitcoin, we're not having a bloody... Or if it's at 87,000 or close to it going into the weekend, it won't be bloody. It'll be a beautiful reversal candle. If we enter the weekend and it's anything but over that 84,467, we're probably going to have a very bloody weekend. And it might not be in the sense that we think, because it might just come back down and retest where we were at. But the fact remains, if we can't gain another 1,300 points by Friday evening, after gaining 9% today, we don't have momentum. So we just need some things to happen. Just like XRP, if we can't measle off another 13 cents after railing off 27 cents today by Friday evening, we might have a problem. Oh, it's not a great Irish accent. I give you that. But I will steal you gold. Gold. You know, I don't know why it comes out like that, but it always does. I think it's my post-traumatic stress from when I was a kid from Notre Dame beating Michigan. Although we did beat them in their perfect season. You know, we had our moments. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Man, I love seeing DGB over a penny. I know I'm rambling on during this slide, but that's all we got today. Because I'm from Michigan. Yes, indeed. I am. Speaking of Michigan, did I tell you guys I made an obscene purchase that took 4 months to get in? I want to show you guys. Some of you have already seen it, but I want to show you. Oh, I'm sorry. Mind you, I waited 25 years for Michigan to win this national championship. Why would I block you? I'm not gonna block anybody. But this is my obscene purchase, and I couldn't buy it from China, so I bought it from the United Arab of Emirates, you know, Dubai, where they make stuff. But that is my obscene purchase. Oh, and it's every bit as nice as it looks. Oh, and it's heavy. It's my championship belt. I told my dad, my brother, I'm gonna wear it everywhere. Whenever Michigan plays and I go to his house, I'm bringing my belt. They're like, "Are you?" My dad's like, "You." There's no way you bought that. I'm like, "Oh, Dad, you have no idea. This is 25 years of saved up revenue from Michigan not winning. Oh, on the win? Well, the win's irrelevant now, even though I still praise it because Ohio State didn't, you know, only karma would do me like this. I wait 25 years for a championship, and then we beat Ohio State this year for a fourth year in a row, and then they still win the championship. So I didn't even get to gloat for 1 year, and Ohio State just wins it. So it's almost like the kick in the dick. Like, hey, we won a title, but now Ohio State's the defending champ, so who really cares who the defending champ was? But nonetheless, I still have my belt. It wasn't too bad, honestly. They had them in different ranges. They had them in different price ranges. It started off at like $100, and then $250, or $175 and $250. Mine was just about $400. It wasn't the craziest purchase, but it was. I got the most extravagant one you could possibly pay for, and that kind of a belt. So it's not that bad. It's not like it's gold on the outside of it. It's plated, but it's not just gold. Underneath is not gold. I wouldn't have bought a gold belt because then somebody would have stole it. Plus, it would have cost too much. That would have cost way too much. But anyhow, back to this. DGB sitting at, what is this? Let's see, 1.01. It's really fighting with that 1 cent area, and eventually, and yeah, there are some ascending triangles. That's why we've got to break past, like DGB, for all intents and purposes. If it wants to, because this death cross has been going on for a while, now it's starting to reverse it back to the top size and squeezed. And I swear DGB's been kind of leading us, letting us know, like, hey, we're about to reverse here pretty good. Inverse head and shoulders here set up. Left shoulder on Friday. Comes down to a head on Monday. Comes down to a right shoulder on Wednesday and starts pulling up late day Wednesday. Breaks out. Would have to push past this 118 area. Once that happens, we've got a new ball game here in the short term for DGB. And I know me and Jennifer have been waiting. A couple others have been waiting for this. And I'll just go to like the shortest part because you went from here to there. We know it's a confirmed hit. And a lot of the other parts were kind of separated by a lot. So I like to do stuff like this. Let's say it breaks out. Now all of a sudden we'd be talking about this range, and it makes sense because that would be the top of this little cup that's going to form. And from where we're at right now, and I have 1.6 million plus tokens of DGB. My goal was to get 100,000, so I exceeded it by 16 times. That would be a 61% move. And that would be a nice move. A 61% move for me and Jennifer would be a big move. I'll just put it that way. It would be a big move. And for anybody else who has DGB, it would be a big move. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. I have a lot of faith in DGB. No, I wouldn't sell at that. Absolutely not. I'm not looking to hit it and quit it unless it forces me to run. If DGB plays clean, I'll be there. But if it gives me a reason to think it's dirty, I'm not looking to go get some, I don't know how the best way to put it. Disease be gone, I'm a penis, kind of thing. I don't know the best way to say it. But if it comes up clean, then yeah. But if it does it dirty, well, then no. We'll have to see. But yeah, I like what's developing here, though. Like, it's given us a massive opportunity. I'm starting to like what's developing here, especially because it started to go in a way that a lot of people started to ignore it now. It was crazy. The whole way down, everybody was so excited. They were buying. And then all of a sudden, that last 10, 15%, everybody just was like, the hell with this. No matter where I buy it, just keeps dropping. That's what you're waiting for. You want to hear that kind of stuff. Now we're going to have to wait this out, though. We're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. Because it's fun. Everything's looking good. We can be happy. But we also have to understand, like, hey, we just had this massive run up. We're going to have to consolidate some. We're going to have to consolidate some. And we're going to have to see where the standing point is. Because we came up fast. But remember, we're just retesting now. We had already come up, then we dropped all the way through. We have no gaps to fill on the way back up right now. Like, we had already come down and we fell through. And now we're just rising back up. Like, this is like the rebound of a rebound. So now we're kind of clean right now. And it does look like we created a nifty inverse head and shoulders. Even looking at it like this in the weekly. I don't know. We're starting to break out of this short section too. This is big. Because we're in an inverse head and shoulders. Even on this right-hand side. We have mini ones. And like eventually this is going to break out. I really do feel like we're going to be sitting here in not so distant future. I don't know exactly how distant. But not in the so distant future. And we're going to be talking about 10-cent DGB, and I'm going to be sitting here going, oh my God. At the time, because DGB, I don't know exactly the amount I put in totality. Because when I first was buying, it was at 004, then 006, then 007, and 008. And then it went up to 2 cents, and I sold and bought it back at 006 or 7. Then sold and bought it back at 008 something. But I don't know in totality how much I actually spent because it was in all these different spots and I had a bunch of profit. Then I made profit and sold and bought back. And it's just a big mess. So I don't even know. I don't know. I just know that I have 1.6 million. And if I had to do the math of it all, it was somewhere. It's about $16,000 worth right now. But when I had acquired it initially. And then I ended up see, that's the thing. Like, I've already paid myself back a lot, too. But the investment was probably 6 or 7,000 on DGB. I don't consider that chump change, but it's definitely turned it into more. It's worth like 16 right now in totality. But there's been some shuffling here and there. Like, I was able to take profit, and then I was able to buy it back again way cheaper. And there's just been moments of opportunity. But right now, there's no opportunity to do that, in my opinion. Not at this exact moment. That opportunity there was about a week and a half ago. And then it dropped like 20-something. What was it? 18% in totality. Not exactly what we wanted, but it was still something to reposition if you wanted to take profit. It's 18% you could put in your pocket without having to do anything real nift. Some people do that. They have big gains. They're good at reading the market. They wait for that moment of when it's overbought and overzealous market. They'll sell out. They'll wait for a 20 or 30% correction. They'll buy back exactly what they had, and then they'll take that other 20 or 30% they saved, and that's how they pay themselves from the bull market. Some people are really good at it, and let's say they bought $3,500 worth, right? It gets up to worth $30,000. They'll sell it when it's worth, or it gets up to 34. They'll sell it at a threshold. Let's say it's worth 28,000, and then they won't buy it back until those tokens are worth 10 or 16, 17, let's say 19,000 or 18,000. They buy it back the same amount they had, then they have $10,000 they put in their pocket, and they still have their same tokens. Sure, their average looks like it's higher, but I argue this. Wouldn't the average be even lower? Because now you've got all that money back, you've got the same shares, and you paid yourself 10 grand. So now you essentially you'd have to say, well, instead of paying $3,500 for that position, I actually paid minus $6,500 based on the profits I've already taken back. And now you're in the negative. That's what I mean. Like, when they say you're buying, a lot of times that's all bullshit. Because you don't know what the scenario is. Some people's buy-ins are, and I'm telling you this for a fact, some people's are only this low, or only that low because they buy, and then every time the market drops, they sell it and rebuy it back so they have that new average. They'll just sell it and rebuy. Sell it and rebuy. And eventually, by doing that, they'll have that bottom. The only difference is their portfolio showing that straight drop. And sure, they can keep funding it up, which they do. But the bottom line is they don't have to tell you, but they're losing that money. And that's not a good feeling. Sure, you might look like a hero because you have these low averages. That's what a lot of leverage traders do too, to trick people. I love Filecoin, honestly. In the future, I'm going to kick my own ass for not buying it as cheap as it is. But I had different agendas. As much as I like File and Theta, I like DGB more. I can't explain it. As much as I like MXC, I like DGB more. So instead of buying into all this other stuff, and I almost argue that I could have bought more DGB. But I love Filecoin. And from where its all-time highs was, it's 100x from right now. It was over 240 bucks. It was 100x up from where it's at right now. Do I ever think it's going to get back there? I don't know. Could that have been a flash in the pants? It could have. So, and the only reason that I have freaking crypto.com is to buy DGB. I wouldn't be using it. Well, fortunately, I was able to buy ZBZN with it as well. And that's another one I'm glad I remembered. I think this might have this massive reversal again, finally starting. For anybody who remembers, we bought this at 0078 down here right before the breakout. We sold it at right around 002. Then I said I would maybe think about buying it here unless the pattern completely reset. I was thinking 008 was a good buy. I waited. It bounced the second time. And like I said, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. Like, don't judge me too hard for my buys. But it's the same thing that happened with ZIL. I don't remember where it was at. Yeah, somewhere over here. Yeah, see, right around 8.5 something. Like I said, I didn't get the bottom of this. It was like 8.5, somewhere around 8.5. And it was the same thing that happened with ZIL. I bought it at 2:30 in the morning. I woke up and I was just looking at stuff. I'm like, you know, I might not be the smartest guy in the world, but this looks like, well, I was like, I'm either going to wake up one of two ways. I'm going to be really pissed off when I wake up and say, you know, Tom, we've talked about this before. You don't need to be buying when you wake up at 2:30 in the morning. Or I was going to be very happy because we're going to start rounding. When I woke up, I'm like, ooh, okay. And then it broke down a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay. But then when that wick pulled up, I'm like, okay. Now it's a Gartley, baby. We didn't even go to bed at 2:30 in the morning knowing that. Trial by Fire says just bought because today before the market started pumping. That's the best feeling in the world. And ZBAC. We like ZBAC. I told you guys I wasn't done with ZBAC. I just look at the chart. The real opportunity for me was once it broke back in, I had to wait for it to reset. And did it not reset? If it breaks down, it breaks down. But at least after I sold, I waited for a true reset. And I give myself credit. Because it came down after our sale. And we made 150%. I waited for a 56.8% drop before I bought back. I'm very happy about that. I am happy about that. Can't explain it. Makes you feel good. Even if it doesn't pan out, it still makes me feel good. But we'll see. We'll see if it plays out. There's no guarantee, like I said. If this falls out, then we're going to be paying the piper a little bit. And I bought 2 million tokens, so it's not like I didn't buy anything. I'm not afraid to lose money in crypto. I do like making money in crypto, but I'm not afraid to lose money to try to make it if I feel an opportunity. This is where I get nervous, though, at the flip of the clock in 1 hour and 8 minutes. I'll be honest. How long have we been on? Holy. I haven't checked the time in 49 minutes. How is that even possible? Is that for... No, what? I've rambled for 49 minutes. Hopefully I was coherent. Well, if you get anything out of this while we're consolidating, make sure you look in the video description below and our pinned comments. I have it pinned in the comments below of this video, or you can go to my homepage on YouTube and click on this link, and it has BITUNIX. There's also a way for Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. We did not get any new members of Tom's Army. I even tried to pull at the heartstrings, but it didn't work. But you can send a donation, or for BITUNIX, the lowest bot and leverage trading fees, the lowest maker-taker. They have XRP in the USA and worldwide. No VPN or KYC worldwide. So you can trade in privacy and with confidence. And when you're trading, you can buy and sell in the moment because the fees are so cheap. You're not looking at a 2 or 3% fee like on certain exchanges, like on crypto.com. You know, there's a little fee there. So take advantage of that. That's all I'm saying. If you're buying, take advantage of stuff like that. Don't just give back to the exchange just because. So I have BITUNIX. I send stuff there all the time. If I'm selling, I'll buy stuff there and send it off this site all the time. I've been doing it since March of 2024, and I have literally never had a problem. It's one of the few exchanges I can actually say I've used for over a year and a half, or over a year solid, and I've never had a problem. How do you buy XRP healthcare in the USA? I mean, like, there's certain trusts you can set up on Zaman Wallet and some of them. The XRP healthcare app right now, you can't just buy it on there. There's LBank. If you download the app and just download it, even though we live in the USA, you're not verifying or anything. You can still use it technically, but if you use it on the website, it'll tell you that we're restricted IP. When I talked to their customer service, they literally said just download the app and it'll work. And I did, and it worked. So you can do it like that. But it's very hard right now in the USA. There's a reason why in the USA we're not able to buy it. By the time we're able to buy it in the USA and it gets listed on some of these major exchanges, it's going to be too late. I don't want to buy it at 50 cents. I like it right at 1.7 cent average or 2 cent average. I love it. Oh, I love it. And I'm going to ride it to the promised land. And some of you are as well. Some of you are as well. So like DGB, I'm excited about. I'm excited about a lot of these. Algo's another one. I have like 33,000 plus Algo. And I bought more when it made this bounce down, as you guys know, on this rotation down. I can't remember exactly what the price was, but I've just been adding more. So, and it wasn't the cheapest I bought, and it wasn't the most expensive I bought. I just think Algo is so undervalued that eventually those 33,000 are going to pay off huge. Because I can see Algo back at $2, $3, $4. A $2 Algo would be like 70 grand. If it ever got to $10, which it very well should, Algo should at some point hit $10. You know, that would be 330,000. So plus. So I have a lot of hope and faith in the crypto market, even if it doesn't seem like I might with some of my bearish talk when I have to be. I have a lot of faith and a lot of patience for this market, but in my own way. Like, if you can't read the chart, obviously you can't be bouncing in and out. And depending on the circumstance, obviously. IOTA's a huge one, yes. IOTA as well. IOTA's big. I skipped over it today, but it's coming out of this descending consolidation. This is where it's getting dangerous now for a big breakout. Absolutely. IOTA's a big one. I don't know why I never talk about IOTA, but IOTA's one I never sold. There's a few like XLM I'll never sell. If I have XRP, I'll always have XRP, XLM, and XRP healthcare. If I say I sold XRP, it's a given that I sold XLM and XRP healthcare. Those just go together. So if I say I have XRP, you know I have those three. If you're new, you don't know that. But there were a good portion that for a moment I had let go. And they dropped a significant amount. Some of them, I allocated funds more into DGB instead of buying more and more of others. So some of them bit the dust just because of certain key dynamics. And like, it's not any offense to any of them. It's just I have a very strong faith and belief in DGB. But IOTA's ready. IOTA, Algo, like these are ready. Look how long it's been doing this. It's ready. And eventually it's going to go from ready to it's already happened. Like it's only going to wait until it's waited no more. That's a huge consolidation. My Lord. Holy mother of God. That is a big one. And it's only at 16 cents right now. Which means you could buy 10,000 tokens for $1,600 right now. Imagine IOTA gets back to $6 and we fiddled our thumbs over whether it was at 16 cents or 12 cents or 8 cents. So over a few $100. Over $200 move today on 10,000 tokens. Is that really going to be enough to make you not buy IOTA if you want 10,000 tokens? Like, that's the way you can spin this. Now, should you buy it right on the high? Probably not. But eventually it's just going to surge. And it hasn't had that extreme breakout to where it needs an extreme back test just yet. But we're doing everything we need to do today to make this a bona fide reversal, and I am here for it. I'm all for it. Oh, it feels so good seeing Fortuna Silver Mines right there up 10.79%. And I have 1,000 shares. So that was a $560 move today. I have 1,000 shares of First Majestic. That was a $690 move today. I have a lot of silver. And it was up 3 point something percent, 3.9% today. I have 3,000 plus shares of B2 Gold. So that, was a $600 move, 640. I have 200 plus shares of Barrett. So that's like a $260 move today. Gold, I have plenty of gold. And that moved up like $100. That's like a, I don't know, $1,500 move at least. That was a good day today. It was a good day today. I even have $8,000, $8,200 when we dropped down. Instead of putting it into, adding it into the CDs and stuff, I decided to take the 8,000 whatever dollars I had left over that I didn't end up having to spend on my house because it was cheaper than I thought anyhow, I'm not going to get into it, but, I ended up putting that in silver instead of rolling it over into my CD that I had 15,000 and that made like $90 in the last couple months, which is dick. But I ended up putting it into silver because it fell under $30 and the iSilver Trust fell to like $25. So I put it in the iSilver Trust. Now it's went up like 4.5% since I bought into it. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's like 250 or almost $300 now. So I don't know. I find strategic ways to try to appreciate the money in the non-strategic sense. It's weird. It's weird. It's just weird. But I don't know. I think that's what I got for everybody. Because Julie's laying down. I want to make sure our son's okay. But there's one thing I want to do. Some of you know what I'm going to do. Some of you don't know what I'm going to do. Some of you might even leave this very program. Some of you may cry. Some of you may laugh. And some of you may even have tears. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Indeed, one person and a few people do know what time it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not. What the hell is he doing? Let's just not. The fun. Oh, it's gonna crash and it will and we will and we did and we won't and we will and we won't and we will. Oh yeah. Stay true. Stay blessed. Don't buy into the FUD. That kind of looks a little strange here. Like I was gonna do the stogie, but now if I do that, then it's just gonna be like, yeah, see now it just went out of control. Nah. Okay, that went from bad to worse. I think I'm going to have to call it a night here, huh? You know how small I feel now? This is how small. Oh, see, now that's even worse. Now my head was almost by the... Look at that. I see what you guys just did there. You guys just tried to make me star in my own porno. The Sunny Days porno. That was great. You see what almost happened there? Oh, I know what some of you guys are thinking. Oh my god. That was great. Somebody said touch yourself. No. Would that make it more appropriate? Well, in later terms today, we're just out here and it's pretty sunny days. What's this? We just pissed out XRP will reign supreme and don't buy into the FUD? Huh. Beautiful. I wonder why nobody watches our program. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night as 95% of my audience... No, I'm kidding. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. But it was a great night. It's a good night. We'll do